Here we go. The very first in-season episode of...
We are back. The Mudbowl Podcast. We are ready to go. It's finally football season. Everybody's excited. We're excited. I don't know about you. Fantasy football, the draft, everything's making it feel alive.
Everything is back. I'm so excited. We had a great draft the other day. A lot of news coming out with the league, with our league. We got extra leagugues. There's so much to talk about.
We got a lot of good games coming out tomorrow, starting at 1 o'clock. Everybody watched the Pats Chiefs game.
Oof.
Kareem Hunt, huge game.
Oof.
Huge pick in fantasy leagues. Definitely somebody that was a shock in the first game.
Absolutely insane. I mean, I think even the biggest shot in just real life football was the fact that the Patriots lost. Everyone had them winning that game handedly.
What was it? Something like it was the first time that in the Brady era they've ever lost after having the lead in going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I heard that. Insane.
Which is crazy because I mean that's with how good they've been. That's had to have been a ton of games.
Yeah,
I think it was over 100.
Oh, easily.
Something
I wouldn't
like
be
that.
shocked. Right now, before we get started with the actual show, I just want to thank. I think this who was this?
Phil.
Yeah, Phil.
Tart of Darkness.
Tart of Darkness providing us hit. Wait, what's this? Cheers to a new podcast episode. So, guys, before we get into it, just want to again wish you all good luck. I'm sure we'll all be together watching these games, and
we want to wish our friends in Florida good luck tonight. Hurricane Irma.
It's really bad news. Maybe less bad news, but something that's still sad.
The Bucs-Dolphins game got postponed to Week 11.
I got Winston in my other league, so I had to make a trade.
I had Jarvis Landry, so I just set him on the bench.
Do you want to take a moment to talk about a loss that we had in the sports
I'd like
broadcasting
to talk,
world? I'll let you have the floor.
This is tough.
Yeah.
Dear friend of mine, good friend of the show, Craig Carton.
Yeah.
He got held up in some gambling debts. Right now, the FBI got him.
It's unfortunate.
Earlier in this week, family. He has 4 kids. Stay-at-home wife. Just my heart goes out to Craig. Hopefully, his defense. He has a good defense. The defense says they're pretty confident that he's not going to be charged, but we'll see.
Wow.
I'm wishing the best for him.
Want to just give it a moment of silence?
Of course.
All right.
All right, so back to football. Hopefully Craig will be announcing or talking about football one day. I'm sure he will, but anyways, time is here. The time is now. It's 2017 season. We got a good string of games tomorrow.
Absolutely fantastic matchups going into first week of the season.
There's a lot of bad matchups, but there's one really good one in the Giants-Cowboys.
I'd say Seahawks
Packers
could be fighting for the conference there.
Other than that, a lot of we're gonna see what teams have. What are the Jaguars gonna look like? Everybody said they were looking good in the offseason, and the preseason time came around, they looked like shit.
Terrible. Good defense, but
the Jets-Bills game is going to be one of the worst games of the day.
Yeah, you say that now, but the winner is they're playing for the division.
They're playing for the division. If the division ended today, the winner of that game is in the playoffs.
I'm going to make a bold prediction.
What's your prediction?
That'll be a tie.
Tie.
I guess they'd both be in first place. But
they both make it wild card.
Just insane.
Raiders-Titans, that should be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm interested to see how Derek Carr comes back after the broken leg last year.
I am interested to see how he'll do. I'm also interested in another now titan of the broadcasting industry like us, and that's my boy.
Who's that?
Oh, come on now. My boy Tony. Tony Romo. Can we give it up? Oh, Tony. There it is. He's going to be starting his broadcasting career. Raiders-Titans with the venerable Jim Nance, just absolutely a legend, and Tony Romo going to be.
He's not bad.
Oh, he's okay. No, he's amazing.
He's all right. He's no Craig Carton.
He's no Craig Carton. He's no Daley and Eddie.
No,
it is what it is.
A
lot of good matchups.
So we got the NFL kicking off tomorrow. Other big, huge news: Ezekiel Elliott got a temporary restraining order on the NFL. So the NFL cannot pursue their suspension. And that's likely, from what I hear from sources around the league, that he's probably going to play the whole year because you know how court gets drawn out. You know?
Oh yeah.
You know, they want to take what is it called? Is it when they postpone the court date?
Oh, injunction? No.
Who cares?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
A lot of postpones. I'm sure the court won't even decide if the NFL could pursue it until well in the season, if not after.
Yeah, I'm all about if we're set up to win now, let's do it. And you know, if he has to pay for something he did or did not do,
right?
Jury's still out, literally. Then we will see. You know, but this year I'm hoping for a good year. I hope he learned from this experience. Because as you know, the Mudbowl Podcast, we are against domestic violence in all forms and phases. I'm just saying words.
I mean, it depends what she said.
Oh God, Ed.
I'm kidding.
Come on, man.
I'm kidding. Oh my God.
Unbelievable. But hey, listen. Back to the Mudbowl, and with you're saying Ezekiel Elliott, you know, him and Carton kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with him. Zeke taken in the first pick of the second round?
Yeah, he was a second round selection. Normally he probably would have been toted
top 3 or 4.
I'd say top 5 because
you
know you got Bell.
It's Johnson, Bell, and either Zeke or Antonio is usually the third.
Zeke, Antonio, or Julio.
Yeah, that's typically
anywhere. Yeah. He's top 5 pick, and he got taken in the 13th pick of the draft.
Rick and Chips.
That was a good pick. You know, they got DeMarco Murray and Zeke. They didn't plan on having Zeke playing, so they made a good pick later in the draft, getting McFadden in the 8th round. Probably
rendered useless now, but it was smart of them to get him in the moment.
Well, but you never know.
Handcuff.
If the court
That's true.
comes through quick, and he ends up being suspended, then it ends up being good. And who knows? You never know what injuries in this league. He's a high volume back. He can get hurt.
All right. So with that, let's get right into a draft recap of Mudbowl. Pretty excited, and while we gather our thoughts. All right, guys, we're back, and let's see. First round's first, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
let's take a look. Mudbowl Draft. Interesting day, by the way.
You know, I went Johnson, Bell, Brown, Jones, Beckham. J.H.I. I thought might have got
a little early,
but I mean, granted, if he carries the season like he was last year, ends up being a good pick.
But I will say, a lot of his yards, like his big point totals in fantasy, they came in like 2 or 3 games where he had like 200-yard games.
I mean, he might have had 3 of them last year.
I do like him because there's not much pushing him for competition. Kenyon Drake and people of the like. Right.
Who do you like actually as running backs this year? I think Gordon has a good year because
I think Gordon's going to have a phenomenal year with that offense.
I think Howard actually takes a step back. I think he's going to be a better player this year, but because they got a young quarterback.
I will say
Trubisky. He's not the starter actually.
No, not right.
Mike Glennon.
He might. Yeah, he might be.
Another young quarterback, but.
I will say, you bring up Howard. He went a little later than I expected. I think it was pick 16.
Yeah, I was shocked with that.
To Mark, so that was a good value pick for Mark and him in the what?
I'll tell you what, I think last year I got him in the 14th round.
Damn. Yeah, which when he's unknown and not much of a touted talent.
Yeah, he's a good player at Indiana University. I remember watching him in college.
Oh baby.
IU.
Hold on. I'll announce it here. My wife, you guys know Anna, she just asked, are we doing football at her house? And I said yes. So it's official. If you're listening,
fair enough. Football
probably tomorrow morning.
Come
to Daley's house, Orange 345 Dogburn Lane.
Boom.
Right near Popeyes.
Nobody's home right now.
Nobody's home right now, yes.
The guard dog is tiny. So if you want a television.
Listen, so here's the deal. We were talking about Zeke in the first round scenario. I think we were talking before the show. I told you that entire weekend, that day, I was talking to Eric, who, as you guys know, is my defensive coordinator for. And I said, listen, at pick 10, Zeke falls to us. We're taking him. We're 100% taking him, not a question. I imagine that the guys that I really, really want that I'm high on will not fall there. And then, of course, it comes down to the draft, and at pick 10, Devontae Freeman's available.
He got cold feet.
Listen, I was texting Eric.
Yeah, you didn't look at it. You listened to a kid that didn't even show up to the draft.
No, I said, I'm thinking Freeman, so I got the text to prove it.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference because
it's tough, man.
You didn't even have your team. One of your coordinators.
Yeah, it was weak.
Your alleged coordinator wasn't even at the draft.
Yeah, he's boring. He's a loser.
He's honestly a joke.
He's a good guy, though. Trust him with my... No, I don't trust him with my life. I can't even say that with
I'll tell you what. Looking at the draft board, I honestly think the biggest reach of the draft, in my opinion, was probably Tom Brady.
Where did he end up going?
I think it was a terrible pick.
Ninth pick in the third round.
100-yard drive picked in the third round. You could have probably got Brady a couple rounds later.
I don't know. Just because a lot of people in the league tend to take quarterbacks a little bit earlier.
Or I think you also could have got a Brady equivalent.
I think there's a lot of equivalents this year.
There's a lot of equivalents. And
Brady in his first game only 10 points, something points.
Yeah. He looked a little behind.
Very off.
Let's see.
Timing of his throws.
Bob's Ocean Intercourse picked a quarterback in the 6th round.
Did you see where I picked mine?
Punch to the face.
Punch
to the face went 8th round. Perry Flowers went 5th.
Look at round 11.
Dirty Politics went 7. Team of Beats Hut went round 9.
Round 11.
Keystone Caps went round 10. Black Balls Back Holly went 11. Ande went
11 as well. Andrew Luck.
Viva La Mudbowl went 6. And Cam Newton went in the 5th round. I think Brady was a huge reach in the 3rd round. Looking at the players they could have got, Keenan Allen, Carlos Hyde, Christian McCaffrey, Alshon Jeffrey, Hopkins, Mary Abdullah, who sucks anyway, but Tyreek Hill,
Marshawn Lynch,
Joe Mixon, Devontae. There's a lot of players. I mean, Mark Ingram, which he's a good player, but even more of a risk this year.
Even a Doug Martin.
Jimmy
I don't know if I would
Graham,
take him that early, but
there's a lot of players that should have got picked above Tom Brady. Not because he's not a value pick. I mean, they got themselves a solid quarterback, but they could have solidified that team a little bit better. And Mark's always has a good year. He's a solid
defending champion.
He's honest. Yeah, he's a defending champion. He's never really been at the bottom of the league. I don't think, right?
He's always
been middle of the pack,
middle to contender.
Yeah, Mark's always been very good.
I got a question for you. So we're talking about quarterbacks. So I waited, and I figured I'd probably get, a Dalton, which I could have gotten in the 11th,
right.
But I was going to just wait. A Dak Prescott, I don't think he's going to have as good a year as some of these other guys, but I think he'll have a consistent. He was very consistent last year. Mm-hmm. So I figured I was going to get one of these guys, but in round 11, I went with Andrew Luck, and I know he's got the injury. You're the physical therapist. I've been reading a lot on him. People are saying, a few more weeks.
The labral issue, right?
Yeah, and they said that once it's healed,
it's fine.
Yeah. So I said in round 11 for a guy who's top 5 last year, top 5, he didn't even play every game.
He'll be okay as long as this line does okay.
Yeah, well, a couple rounds later, that's why I backed him up with Carson Palmer, who has an amazing schedule at the beginning of the year.
I would have picked Cam Newton over Brady this year. I would have probably picked. I wouldn't have picked Luck over Brady, only because of the injury issues. Mariota, I might have picked over Brady.
I like Mariota this year. Who has him?
Viva La Mudbowl.
Dom, sneaky good team.
Yeah, he's all right. But anyways, I'm not going to harp on Brady. He could end up being a stud per usual. I wouldn't be surprised. But there's a lot of solid teams this year. I might say that Rick and Chip's team is one of the top-looking teams on paper at the beginning of the year, but it's paper. Who cares?
I will say that
I like Robbie Anderson.
We're tough with the Jets guy. I mean, that's the only guy that they're going to be passing to. I met him and Bilal Powell.
So how about this, Joe? We could go through each pick. I mean, it means nothing, but let's give our picks
for the best pick.
No, let's just go for the matchups.
Oh, you want to do matchups? I'm down. Let's do this.
Look. We got let's start with let's see. Who do you want to start with?
Let me get to the list here. Excuse me. Oh, the Tart of Darkness, phenomenal. Tastes better even coming back up. What do you got? Dirty politics. We'll go dirty politics and team on B side. Yeah, we'll start with our matchups.
Sure.
I know who I'm picking.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It's easier to pick it now, considering he's had Gronkowski underachieve.
Yeah, it's really tough.
New England underachieve. Gostkowski did exactly about what he was supposed to do.
9 points, that's pretty solid, yeah.
I'm actually going to give, and this is unbiased. This is biased, but if you're looking at it, you'd probably agree. I would go ahead and say I'd give Beats Hut the favorite at this point.
I'm taking a look. I'm going to go quickly, position by position. I think the quarterback matchup, Wentz and Carr. I think Wentz is going to have a good game, but I think Carr is going to be in a shootout.
I think Carr's the better player. Julio is obviously better than T.Y. Hilton.
Tennessee's pretty tough against the run, so I think they're going to need to throw it, regardless of beast mode and all that. So I think you got the edge there.
I think the quarterbacks, the Julio Jones and Amari Cooper are better than T.Y.
Oh, he's starting T.Y. Hilton. I don't love the matchup.
And Michael Crabtree. I don't know what you're going to get with Fournette and Perkins.
But
who knows?
Listen, T.Y. Hilton will not do great.
No. David Johnson is what he is. Bilal Paul is what he is. Him and Perkins might be a wash. I'll obviously give Johnson the nudge over Fournette. Who knows what Fournette's going to do? We saw what Kareem Hunt did.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to have a game like that.
Against Houston, I don't think Fournette
he's not the catcher, pass catcher. Jordan Reed, obviously, he doesn't have to do much to beat what Gronk did. Jonathan Stewart, I always like a running back over a receiver, but Diggs might have the advantage because of the big playability.
Great matchup against New Orleans.
Yeah, good matchup. So I'll give the nudge to Diggs. And I still might play somebody else. I haven't ruled out playing Joe Mixon, Corey Davis, or Tyler Lockett. That's still up in the air.
Tyler Lockett could be a good sneaky play there.
In Arizona, honestly, they don't have to do much to do better than New England.
Listen, I'm going to get, considering 2 of his players went and only your kicker went, and Gronk really kind of crapped the bed, I'm going to give it to you. I think.
Right. Let's take a look.
Can I pick this? Isn't there a way to pick this on?
Yeah, you can.
Where do I do that?
So let's go. Now we'll look at Ande in balls back.
Oh, let's do it.
Man,
taking a commanding lead.
I'll give Rodgers over Palmer, Brian over Thomas.
You think Brian has a better shot?
Yeah, Brian over Thomas in a heartbeat. Wow. I'd say Matthews and Fitz are a little bit of a push.
Sure.
Freeman's better than Abdullah. Abdullah's fucking garbage. McCaffrey might have had the advantage. I don't think he's going to score 22 points. Right. Gillis is going to have the edge on that one.
I think Ertz is going to have a good game for him.
Ertz, I think, is better play than Eifert.
Norman's going to be on Pryor. On Jeffrey.
Yeah, I'd still give Jeffrey over Coleman.
I'm similar to you in my flex. I'm between a few players: Jeffrey, Garcon, and Thielen.
Kicker's a toss-up every week with everything. I'd say McManus. But you never know, because if it's a tight game, they might kick a lot of field goals.
Yeah, you never know.
But I'm going to say Buffalo over Carolina. This is a toss-up for me.
I think it's close. I think his little head start with Gillisley.
I might give balls back Holly to fill the edge just based on Gillisley, but I'm going to say the rosters look about pretty even.
Pretty similar, I'd say.
So if Ande has one player that has a breakout game, I'd say it's anybody's game.
Amen.
Let's look at the other matchups.
Freeman. I'm playing Freeman in a couple of tournaments.
We got Rick
and
Chips. So we got Rick versus his brother Steve.
Battle of Lanos. Oh shit! And Angelo and Zach. Don't forget.
Steve's fighting an uphill battle on this one.
Let's see. Yeah, Kelsey
didn't do a whole lot.
No. Why could
I hate Randall Cobb at this point. He's been inconsistent for 2 years.
Although I will say Cobb, I don't love. I don't love the pick, forever for the whole season. I do like it in this matchup just because he's the third option in that, the third receiver option in that offense against the Seahawks. He may have a better cornerback matchup, whereas Jordy will probably be covered by Sherman.
Yeah, but we'll see. Sherman stays on one side of the field, so it really depends where they match
true,
up.
Yeah. Maybe they'll put Jordy on their side.
I'd give the receivers on, Rick's team the edge, quarterback the edge. I'm going to go ahead and say it's a toss-up for receivers. For running backs, because...
How do you like Lamar Miller this year on...
I don't know, honestly.
On Perry Flowers' $1 Million Club. It's an interesting situation he's in down there.
I don't know. I'm going to give Rick the edge on this one.
All right.
So I think we agree on that. Let's look at 100-yard drive and punch to the face. Punch to the face.
It's my rally cry during the draft. Tom Brady kind of really shit in the bed.
Ben Roethlisberger right off the rip he should have no problem against Cleveland getting 10 points.
I think they're gonna run Bell a lot though. I think Ben will be okay. I think he'll score more than 10 points, but
I mean, punch to the face is garbage for running backs. So
I know I like Crowell this year. I actually like R. Kelly this week.
I'm not a big fan of the running backs here. They're on shit teams that play from behind a lot. Mark's got a solid roster, except for the quarterback looks a little shaky. I'm gonna give this one to
only the greatest to ever do it, but yeah.
Well, this week he looked shaky. I'm gonna give this one to. I'm gonna give it to punch to the face.
Punch to the face. I'll give it to Punch as well. I think I like Mark's receivers, Gordon and Howard, solid duo.
Now looking at Bob's Ocean Intercourse, let me tell you, Mike Martone was the worst Sacco in the history of Saccos.
I mean,
he disrespected
if you're supposed to be the worst, so does that mean he's the best Sacco?
No, he's the worst. He didn't do any of the Sacco punishment.
No, it was
he laughed about it. He was throwing meat at people's face. He was just doing stuff. He assaulted
in different types of assault, his own blood.
And from what I hear, he couldn't remember much of what happened. However, he did make some huge picks. A lot of people were laughing. They looked at his roster. How many Chiefs does he have? 1, 2, 3. I think he has a few on the bench.
Andy Reid is on there.
4.
Drafted a coach.
He has 5 Chiefs, including the team defense. 5 Chiefs. It's unheard of to pick that many.
Although I think Kendrick West was a good pick.
Yeah,
good handcuff.
But
also relying on rookies, but great rookies.
Kareem Hunt looked like best
Barry
running
Sanders-ish.
back. Looked like the best running back ever to step foot on a football field.
Yeah, I think him paired with Dalvin Cook. A lot of people would be nervous about that, but Martone had the guts. Despite his precarious situation on draft day, it just really got out of hand really quickly.
But, it makes you call it. I'm going to give Martone the edge in this matchup just based on the opening performance. So I'm not even going to go over. I'm not even going to look at this stuff. Martone's going to win this. It's not even close.
Wait, who's he playing? Oh, Cap.
Yeah, Cap. Unfortunately, Cap's got a good team, but he doesn't have a chance week 1.
Want to go Viva la Mudbowl?
But I'll tell you what. Looking at the issues with Sacco, what do we do going forward? Because to me, the dress has lost its glamour. It's losing its originality. It's losing its shock factor. What do you think? I mean, it is tradition.
I'm thinking an ass tattoo because I've been.
Let's be honest.
I would do a tattoo on my thigh or ass.
I'd love to see it, but there'd only be 3 or 4 people that would actually do it. And everybody else would get to the point and they say, I'm not doing that.
You have to sign a contract.
So we got to find something that's a little more...
I'll do a side bet. Sacco tattoo.
We got to find...
Champion tattoo. I'll get a 2015 champion tattoo to put on my other cheek.
Well, we have to find something that's fair, but it's embarrassing. I was watching ESPN 30 for 30 on Sacco punishments or fantasy punishments. It was actually pretty good.
I was going to say they have a Sacco...
they had guys where you had this, stand on the side of the highway and honk for me being, sucking at fantasy football.
Yeah, you hold up the,
guys wearing like the Green Man costume. And,
I do like the Steve sticker thing that he's been showing us.
I like the sticker on the car.
I think that's hilarious.
I suck at fantasy football.
Yeah.
I like a lot of that stuff. But the issue is that
Rick got it bad. Can we just take a moment of silence for Rick? Rick was destroyed at Sacco.
He was
one of the worst. Well, one of the worst treatments. The face downtown, all-time Sacco punishment. That should be in Matthew Berry's book.
But what the thing is that was because it was creative and it was off the norm.
Yes.
I think that
we need that.
The league should have some creativity and cohesion in creating something unique to the person at Sacco.
I like it.
So I think it maybe not necessarily a planned thing, but if people want to wear the dress, that's great. But they have to obviously serve beer a little more, do the stuff
at all.
And they got to take it serious because
flush people's
it's
shit.
A serious league, I think it should be taken serious. But I think we should also create a punishment unique to the individual.
I like that.
You know, maybe
we determine those things during the season or at the draft before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, how would we make it?
Or like during the off-season meeting. Next year, if you're Sacco, this is going to happen. Yeah. We got to get an off-season meeting.
We pushed for it for months. Nothing happened.
Nobody. It really is just like, you know. Are we losing our... Listen to that. Are we losing our passion? I don't think so. I think it's still there.
I think the passion's there. I think it's just the commitment, maybe.
I mean, people, it's because you think commitment to a fantasy league, it's setting your lineups, not fucking up like that shit. I don't think we've lost that. I think people still fear the Sacco a little bit, but maybe not after this year. But I guess we'll have to see how it plays out.
What are you fearing?
I don't know. Like
having to wear a dress and not do anything?
Yeah. Threatening to kill everybody. Like maybe I don't want to threaten to kill everybody / assault my own family. Like maybe I'm nervous about that. Will I do that if I'm ever Sacco?
Maybe.
Like, does my cousin have to fear for his life? You know, it's tough. Let's go to our last matchup, though.
All right,
what do you think? You know, let's go. I think it's Viva La Mudbowl, as Dominic's team, versus Hot Duwadi, Rich Kiley. I actually like this matchup. I was looking at this the other day. A couple of Green Bay receivers going against each other, Devontae Adams and Jordy Nelson. I think that could be a push. I probably give the slight edge to Devontae Adams, not because I like him better, but because I think he might have less coverage issues. But again, if you line people up differently, then that could be a push right there. I think Mariota versus Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan against Chicago, good matchup. Mariota against Oakland. Mariota has, I think that game's going to be a bit of a shootout, so there's more scoring potential.
Yep.
I think DeMarco Murray's going to have a good game, and he's on Rick and Chip's. But Matt Ryan, I think, is also going to put games, so that could be a push. I think the running backs here are pretty even. I think Mark Ingram is going to have a good year, but not his best game. I think they're going to feature Peterson there.
I think Peterson's going to make...
Yeah, well, do you know who they're playing?
Yeah, obviously. They're playing
the Vikings. I'm going to tell you right now. That's going to be...
I think Gurley has a big year. I wanted to pick him.
Gurley's going to have a great week, too.
I think he got picked right before me, but I wanted him bad. Goff's going to have a better year. They have Watkins. If he could play even half of what he's capable of, he opens up the outside.
The coach, was it Sean McVay? He was saying that they're going to make it a point to get him the ball in space and just be creative with it instead of what was going on last year with what was a crappy team.
So I mean, I think we went over reviewed the league.
Who do you got in this game though? Hot Duwadi, Viva La Mud.
I'm going to say Viva La Mudbowl. I like Mariota having a huge game. It's
a draw to me, but I'm going to say... I mean, Doug Baldwin against the Packers, that was a good matchup. You know what? Oh, that's close. I'd probably go Viva La Mudbowl by a bit. I think Anderson has an uphill battle, but I think it's going to be close. I think Hot Duwadi could take it, too. Very close game. That should be an interesting one to watch out for. Two former champions.
I think that we went over the league a little bit. It's hard until everybody plays because guess what? If we went by on paper, you just go based off the draft grade. Speaking of grading,
oh yes.
Well, we'll go over that shortly. So we're gonna go over the matchups when we really get to the meat and potatoes of the show. Is when we're gonna be going over who's fucking up and who's doing a shit job as a manager, commissioner too. And we'll see exactly, who's doing what in fantasy. So next week, we're going to go over a ton of that. But in the meantime...
Yeah, this is a lot of hearsay right now.
This is all hearsay. So, I mean, we're guessing. We know just as much as you.
And with that said, we actually do have some performance standards. Guys, we had our first round of Mudbowl season dodge.
Woo! And it was actually interesting because... Nick Russo bought the 16-ounce cans.
Oh, yeah, of Natty.
Which really caught some of the members off guard. They didn't want to play with them. Rick Lano doesn't drink Coors.
He doesn't drink Natty.
He doesn't drink Natty.
But he won't settle for Natty, but prefers a nice cold Coors Light. Gotta respect the hustle.
So, anyways, and I think that might actually shift 3 and 4 in our lineup because of that difference.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I do think so.
We made last minute adjustments to the Dodge ranking.
We had four team games. As always, who cares what team wins? It's all about personal performance.
Gotta get my stats up.
Like I've always said, there's no team in I.
I like that. Fake news. I like that. That is. We gotta get more drops.
So we're gonna go through.
There's no team in I.
Rankings from 1 to 14. Where do you want? Do you want to start at the top?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
So, originally I was gonna give the top rank to Mike Cap. He came out strong, finished the first game first. I don't think he finished the second game first, but he was one of the top finishers. But then I buried him myself the last two games. Not buried him, but he had one bad game. I had one bad game. We both finished strong the other two games. So I'd say we were both probably the top two players.
So this
1A
week,
and 1B doesn't make a difference. I'd say is Ed and Mike Cap. Going into to 2, an unsung hero. He used to be one of the top players in the world. Kind of fell off over the last couple of years, but
let's announce who it is. And I'm
he's been doing a lot of shotgunning. He's been literally shotgunning beer after beer in his new kitchen, relentlessly. Sequence, loves to sequence.
And
that would be Phil Dang.
Phil Dang, let's give him a round of applause. Just absolutely still keeping the party alive, but really kind of getting, he's settling down now. Got a new home, right? I mean, this guy, like he's Phil.
But he still has.
But he's still shotgunning. He's still out there golfing, teaching kids how to shotgun, or having Mark do it.
He's got a little bit of a wild side.
Yeah.
Jimmy Dang.
Can't tame Jimmy Dang.
You can't tame Jimmy Dang. You can't tame him.
Listen, let's go into our number
3. So number 3 was actually originally Rick Lano.
Yeah.
And then after we sat here and we were discussing it, we were like, wait, Rick can't even drink other cans. So due to the lack of
handicap that he has himself,
the number 3 actually became Nick Russo.
Give it up.
The gullet, pour it right into his mouth. You can't see any movement.
I think he just takes the whole can and just puts it in his mouth, and then, like people do that with a chicken bone, and then it just comes off. Yeah, it's just the bone.
It's amazing.
It's impressive. And so our
number 4
is Rick Lano.
Rick,
Rick Lano is he's one of those guys that's just good at a lot of things. Had a great draft that day. Okay, he's great at softball.
He should have a good draft.
Yeah, but comes in at number 4. Almost was number 3. We're holding a little bit of the Coors Light favoritism against him, but I think he could work his way up. Potentially a great defender, one of the best.
Good defender.
Maybe the best Dodge has ever seen.
His big issue is he has a governor on his chug. No matter how much he tilts his head back, it's like it's going through a pinhole.
That's kind of my problem.
Well, your problems. You have a lot of problems, so you're down the list. So we're gonna.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Andy. Thanks.
So anyway, we'll move on to number 5. We'll give it to Steve. He played well.
It was close between Steve and number 6, but we're gonna give it to Steve. He had a very good.
He played all the games. He was solid. I don't think
finished first. I think the first.
I don't think he played with the 16-ounce cans, which normally this wouldn't be pulled in the ranking. But it was a mistake.
Just 12-ounce.
But you had the opportunity to kind of boost it was ego. Those were ego cans. But nonetheless,
like Lego my ego.
Lego my ego.
I don't know, but Steve,
I'd say
good performance.
He had a good game. Good defender.
Finished relatively early, almost every game, I think.
Yeah.
And then he had that number 1 start.
Finishers.
I think there was some other issue with the can falling off the whatever. Wasn't there something where he would have finished first? He was saying, I don't remember.
I don't know.
But good.
He also has the best drafted team every year. Number 6, Rich Kiley. He didn't play all the games, which I think hurt him. But
that's kind of like his MO now.
Big chugger.
Yeah,
sitting there.
Still got it.
Great shot.
You come out, you point, you hold up. Like the Babe used to
One of
call
the
his
best
shots, and then
I've ever seen.
Do his thing. So Rich with a good day, good performance. Next on the list, Dom Carano.
Yeah, Dom played okay.
Solid defender, per usual.
Always good defender.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets a little questionable with his hits. He doesn't make really good contact, so the ball doesn't go too far. He doesn't and he's actually a pretty good chugger. He just doesn't get time to chug.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you took me and Dom, because I usually get pretty good hits.
But you're sloppy.
Yeah.
You're slow to the can.
I just chugging wise, I'm not a good goal
slow
guy
to
like
the
you
can,
are.
slow to chug. So that Dom was number 7. Number 8, we go with Mark.
Mark Albus, a staple in Dodge.
I think Mark's anywhere depending on the day, from a number 4. Number 4 to a number 8. I think he actually didn't have a great day that day, but Mark can be very good.
Yeah, we're taking into account like historical performance
I'll take
as well. I'd say.
Sweet Deal's at number 9. You know, sometimes he has a number 1 performance, but there's other times where he's got awful.
Yeah, he's a great defender, but the offense isn't always on point. But when it is, he can be very good.
Yeah, he can be.
Number 10, double digits. It's
Joe
your boy.
Daley.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'll talk to the first day. I thought that was one of my better dodges in a while. I think last season I had some good dodge.
Average athlete, below average chugger.
I did well. I finished. I never finished.
I'll tell you what.
Well, there was that one game where my whole side didn't finish.
His 40 time earlier in the year. Not incredibly agile, but nonetheless a lot of heart.
Had a good dodge.
He's actually, believe it or not, fun fact about Joe Daley is he is actually related to the number 1 ranked player in all of Cape Verde. Jose.
Yes, Jose.
Give it up. Props to Cape Verde, Caribbean, right?
Nope, that's
Africa.
off the coast of Africa.
Yeah, that's right. I was thinking something else. Yeah, I said it.
Listen, and also I want to say this. Can we say that I am the last of like a second or third tier, like either a wide second tier or like a third tier?
Joe's in the 3rd tier. This next tier is the
can I be above this tier?
Yeah, this is a sewer grate. So we have Rocco, who he actually isn't bad at chugging. He's just not fun to play with. He's always got a bad attitude. He's always trying to deceive. So, we don't need that in the game. That's why he's in the bottom of the barrel.
Always manipulating the
system. Number 12 is Zach, just because he's always wet. He's always pouring it all over his face, and quite honestly, he sucks.
Zach Martone, we're saying.
Yeah, Zach Martone.
Wet. Yeah.
Well, the Jew's down there, too. Zach Cohen, he's terrible.
Oh, he's put him down.
We're going to put Eric at number 13, just because he didn't even show up, and he sucks. And Eric would have been last, but James Albus came down and literally put up one of the worst Dodge performances in the history of the sport. Any political career that he thought he had might be over. He has no shot. I mean, he might as well just maybe go back to school for maybe like a liberal arts degree, something. Yeah. I don't know.
Just become a teacher or something.
Be a substitute teacher. I don't know.
It was definitely an interesting start to the season. I think it was a solid start. This isn't far from where I pictured our rankings being.
If Joe Matero finds this is dirt. He's all done.
Oh, yeah. Do you think he'd be more disappointed in his dodging ability or the fact that he was dodging?
He was just, quite frankly, bad.
It was bad. I have a special guest.
Whoever is walking in the house should not talk yet. And then what else do we have to go over?
So I just wanted you to you're the commissioner of the Falafel League. So, I'd like to hear kind of how that's going.
Oh, it's going good.
You got kind of tell us what you're doing in there and what we're testing out for.
Our draft was, we had a lot of, big draft. We had a big draft, 10 teams, Dynasty League. Everything was up for votes. We are doing the Fad Cash.
Has anyone done that yet? Like used any of it?
Nobody's done it yet because it starts after the first week.
What's the budget?
400.
Oh wow.
And then after that, you could trade picks for the future years. You could trade draft picks. You could trade Fad Cash. You could trade anything.
400 is actually gonna be tough because there's so many. Like you have so much money.
Yeah, but
not all, really because if it's 100, it's all relative. It's relative, but.
And another good thing is that we can. One thing I do like is that, it's something where you can trade lesser value players for more value players, and it's not necessarily a bad thing for the league. A lot of times it's strategy. So I could trade a lesser player and a good pick for next year, for a good player to help me right now.
That sounds like it would make sense. I will say and maybe I'm blowing up your spot, but a very good hint or something to do is don't use like whole numbers or round numbers when you're putting in a bid. If you want to put in 25, put in 26 or 27.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people are going to go with, I'm going to put in 30, I'm going to put in 10, go 11 or 12, because no one, you might edge out a couple people with that. So that's good. I'm excited to hear that you guys are doing a little
so
different.
I'll update that a little bit as we go through the year. It is fantasy, so it's relevant to the show.
And then just one last thing before we get going is something I was going to talk about in our last episode, which is about a month ago, a little over now, was this app that I downloaded. It was a free app, and I'm urging you all to go do it because I think it's going to be fun. It's called Media, and that's with 2 E's, Meedia. And it's and I'll show Ed after the show, and you guys should check it out. It's actually it's for like fantasy football and stuff like that. It's a great way to trash talk, and what it is it sets up what looks like a backdrop of a press conference and microphones and stuff, and like flashes.
Oh yeah, you did show me that.
Yeah, and there's built-in questions that are actually getting asked by reporters, and you can choose the question that will be asked to you. It's really cool.
I'll roll that out.
I'm probably gonna post. I'll probably post one tomorrow morning to Phil because he's my matchup this week.
And I'll implement that in the other league, the fake American Fantasy Football League.
That's what it is.
And also,
falafel.
And also, I will implement it in the what was I gonna say? I lost train of thought. No, the falafel, but I had something else.
Mudbowl.
Yeah, forget about it.
Dodge.
Nothing wrong with Dodge.
Little Dodge trash talk.
Dodge will start. Official season will start tomorrow. Depending on who's playing and how many games there are, that will be affecting the Dodge rankings. So even if there's 1 or 2 games, it might not affect the rankings. These are something that you have to do something to knock yourself up, or if you do
yourself up.
Yeah.
And look where that got you. Yeah, cute little precious baby of
sweet young Trill, young Suck.
Oh,
AKA Little Uzi, the Suck Boy. But anyway, so, the Dodge rankings are going to be on our Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to update those as the year goes on.
Definitely. Put it on
I look forward to the next upcoming shows.
And listen, just to close this out here, we have another member of the league. This is Nick Russo.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, listen, you want to say a few closing words as we're heading out into the abyss?
All I have to say is fuck Martone for being the worst Sacco I've ever seen in my life.
That's real.
Wow.
It's completely
dropping
real.
That's as real as it gets.
But you know what? I do respect the hamburger toss to Chipio.
Chipio deserves everything he gets.
Completely deserved it. But other than that, you are the worst Sacco ever. You probably deserve to repeat. And that's all I got to say.
Except he had the pick of the draft with Kareem Hunt so far.
Oh.
But
that about does it for us. Oh God, those are broken. And Nick has broken my headphones.
Didn't take him long to come here and make some noise.
I realize my head's bigger than everybody else's. So.
All right, so that about does it for us this week for the Mudbowl Podcast. Tomorrow, everyone at Daley's house, if you're available, or today, by the time you listen to this.
We'll see how you do. Make the right choice, put in the right guys, win the game. God bless.
We love you. Take it easy, guys.
See you next week.